I don't understand why the heck are you in Akron? Just
Well,
because?
technically, uh, I went to see a concert with my buddy Joe last night.
Ooh.
Yeah, Run the Jewels and Rage Against the
Oh, okay.
Machine.
Oh, what the hell? You
Yeah.
just you dropped the lead on that. Like, we've been talking for 20 minutes and you leave out because you probably wouldn't have talked about comics at all. So
Right.
you went and saw wait, they both to how? Whoa.
It was
Uh,
amazing.
Who opened for who?
See, that's the world we live in today, but it happened the right way. Run the Jewels played for about 45 minutes, and then Rage played for 2 hours.
Wow.
They came as
Wha
hard as any rock band has ever played. It
so
was unbelievable.
whoa, wait, because this is what, their how 3rd show back? What number show was this back together?
We think it's their 4th show back.
4th show? Because like,
Zach
I
had a
knew they had oh, man.
Zach had a broken foot. He broke his foot in like the second show of this tour. So he sat the entire show for 2 hours and still
Wait,
brought more energy than anyone I've ever seen on stage.
dude, what the you suck. I
I
hate you.
know.
I'm mad respect that at your age, you went did you mosh? Did you get in the pit?
Hell no.
Well, you didn't get in the pit in the college either, but
No, but we watched it from far.
which I still oh, dude,
We had good seats.
so what was the
And I
highlight
saw
song?
him I saw him in one of your favorite places in the world actually,
The
where the
Cleveland
Cavs play.
the Quickens wait, is it still Quicken?
No, it's Rocket Mortgage now.
Rocket Mortgage?
Yeah.
Uh,
But don't worry, we're still
but
calling it Quicken.
dang, you suck. There's no re
Yeah,
we can stop the show.
I know.
Um,
It was amazing. Um,
God, so did they do I mean, they just went through their hits. Do they even have new stuff? I mean,
yeah, they have
did they
30
did
songs, man. They have 30 songs, and they played like 21 of them.
did they do Ghost of Tom Joad?
They did, and I almost wept.
I was gonna say, like, that's one we didn't get to see 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, it
Bulls
was
on Parade?
yes.
Oh,
It was
get
literally nonstop. The only time they ever stopped playing was to switch guitars, and then they had some videos that Zach would turn around and like freaking meditate while the video's going on, so he could give his vocals a rest for like a minute or two, and then
jeez.
straight back into it. When they
Oh, I
played
hate
"Broken Man," probably my least favorite Rage Against the
yeah.
Machine song, I just realized I'd never been playing it loud enough. Because when it is just, it was
Oh my
unreal.
gosh.
Yeah.
Like, and that's one of those things, like, I can't imagine going to a concert now like that, but if I could pick it, it'd be, like, them and Pearl Jam are, like, the 2, and then you throw in Run the Jewels on top of it?
Yeah. It was
I
amazing.
mean, oh, jeez, I hate you. Let's talk about comics now.
Okay.
Um, God, I mean, here I am stuck in my house on the last days of COVID, and you're in freaking Ohio watching Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, I got it. I traveled by my lonesome, which I've maybe never done. Uh, it's an hour flight up to Cleveland. Hung out in Cleveland, went to 3 comic shops, and saw Rage and Run the Jewels. It was amazing.
You suck and are amazing at the same time. Like, oh my gosh. Okay, so let's try to talk about comics now.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Um,
Yeah, comics.
uh, all right, so let's sort of jump into this. Just throwing up some books to look at. Got we are on episode 34. Excited. Lots and lots and lots of Batman this upcoming week to look forward to. I'm stoked about that. And usually I'm not. I'm sort of Batman ambivalent, but man, this is this is some great stuff we're gonna be looking at. So let's jump in. Sadly, I did not because I've been quarantined, I did not hit any shops, though I've gotten to the point now where it's like I'll wait a week. There's unless it's just something I have to go and get. I'll
Yeah.
give it a moment to breathe. But Batman 126 comes out. I did get 125. Loved it.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where it's going.
Yep.
Um the cover A, which is over here on the right. I mixed it up. I messed it up. Cover A is on the right. I like it. It's worth picking up. Though though 125's cover A was better. This
Yeah.
one's still pretty good.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna go for the swimsuit issue though, right? because DC's doing the swimsuit thing. So what I've seen from all of them so far, I've only seen the guy covers. I don't even know if there's any sexy girls in swimsuits on the covers. But they're doing the guy covers. So
I mean, I know it goes back to Neil Adams with the cowl without the shirt.
mm,
It doesn't do it for me though.
which I mean, your wife is glad.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's really dumb. Uh,
but
actually, like
I'm
I think the Gillian March
mhm,
maybe the best.
yeah, it's and
Although I do
hopefully you
not
know that
believe in I do not believe in this character.
yeah, fail safe.
No.
No, I don't foresee a but who knows? I mean,
Right.
but there hasn't been a Batman character that
Stuck.
what was the last one? I mean, almost have to go to Red Hood? Hush? Like Hush is one I would believe in, but they barely use him.
Yeah.
Uh,
Punchline, I mean, that's where I'm drawing them.
I've hung my hat on Clown Hunter.
Yeah. Good
What
call.
was the one? Miracle Molly or whatever.
God,
I think he came out like
I
15
hated
in
all
like
that.
10
Yeah.
issues.
Okay.
Gardener
There's
and
more covers, right?
yeah. So here are the covers I actually really like.
Right.
These are all the incentives. Yeah, the Huckley one for 25, gorgeous, but it's and any other week these would win for Batman, but the Jock is at his best.
Yeah.
He's really digging and like when he does the black and yellow right, I'm a big fan. Might not be his best one, but this is in the top 2 or 3 for me.
Yeah, it's cool. When he
And then this
posted this just the ink on Instagram, I was like, "Oh, man, this is nice." Of course, I'll never see any of these.
I got my fingers crossed on getting a couple of these. Um, then the Ryan Sook here, Catwoman. I mean, Sook is one of those guys. Sometimes I don't like, but when he hits right, I'm a big fan. And this is one that, man, I want to get. It's
Yeah.
gorgeous, 1 for 100. He has Sook has some variants out there that over time do really well. So, and this is one that I could foresee doing really well over time. Still in the Batman. So this is Batman White Knight presents Red Hood, which is the Murphy versus version of Red Hood,
Yeah.
which
And it
premiered.
coordinates with Batman
Yeah,
Beyond the White Knight that's going on right now too. So,
which the first appearance of the Red Hood was issue 1 or issue 2 of that series. I think it was 2,
yeah, I don't
but
remember.
so well, it's either way, it's not a first appearance of Red Hood
Right.
character. There might be a first appearance within the book,
There
but
the cameo of the Robin that you
mhm,
see is in Beyond the White Knight, but this is the first appearance. I would
got
guess. Cuz
okay.
I don't think she has any lines. I think she's only one panel.
So the covers are great. The copial is a B cover, but it's also a 1 for 50 a foil.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. I love as anyone that follows us knows, we love the white, the use of not no space is beautiful and when it's done
Yeah.
right. The DeMayo's pretty good. I think we determined that DeMayo's the one who's doing the actual art on the inside.
Yeah. And I
Which
don't it's a little too computer generated, too a
yeah,
little too manga for me, but I'm going to pick it up cuz I like the story.
yeah. And this is this the first time that someone's other than Sean Murphy's done a
No, he did that Harley Quinn thing
okay.
with Scalera, and it
But
was pretty
Sclera's
good.
more similar in style to him.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It felt painted. A lot of the pages felt painted. They were really good. I didn't pick up any of the issues, but I read the trade.
Yeah. Okay. Still sticking to Batman worst in the world. There's a couple other Batman books we'll mention later on, but Harley Quinn, John Boy Myers, cover A. I mean, this John Boy Myers likes he has a certain style. I like his style on this. It works. Even as busy as the cover is for something about it, I do like it.
Yeah,
Um,
that
but
pink is nice.
yeah.
We're a sucker for that pink.
And then the homage covers, I usually don't like these, but something about this one I do like, and
Yeah,
I can't. I
it's
think,
really well done.
yeah.
Uh,
I mean, yeah, I can't even because I mean they even got the wet the corner tearing looking
yeah,
on going on. I mean.
I have a reprint of Batman 1 or whatever. Uh, it's a little oversized. I think mine's from like a Nabisco or something, like when they did something back in like 2001 or something. It's a great feeling comic. Uh,
Yeah, there's a lot of I think the Harley Ronan, yeah, I think the Harley ones. I'm not sure if they come out with this issue. I think there's like a Harley tribute thing that comes out next week or the
cool.
week after, not next week because next week is these. As far as the books we were looking at, I didn't see any more than these three plus there's a Dirt Chew cover. But there might be a lot more. I know there's a lot for whenever the Harley book comes out. But yeah, there's if you like Harley, every one of her Harley key books is like getting homaged
Yeah,
next week or 2 weeks from now. And then you have this one for 25 on my or Rose Besh cover, which I liked her style at first. I think I can't remember what issue it was a silk issue. It was look, but she's getting to where she's doing the exact same thing, just sort of like Peach does.
yeah,
And the only thing that makes it worthwhile is it's the incentive. Uh, so people that have said I like Rose Besh, then not making an incentive it is sort of sought after, but I'm not sure. Of course, I'm not sure how many people get Harley Quinn. So,
yeah.
all right, let's see what's coming up next. Switching gears, you talk about Batman being the biggest book, biggest Marvel now, or biggest DC. Now we'll go to the biggest Marvel, Spider-Man, and they said, "Hey, let's create more Spider characters." So here's Edge of Spider-Verse Volume 2, Issue 1. I love the cover A. It's just great painted cover. So there's a technical first appearance. Spider Rex is the first appearance, the dinosaur in the background. But some people will point out that in one of the Spider Verse issues before, there's a TV screen in the background that has a dinosaur on it. So take that how you may. That's true definition of a cameo. This first appearance, Spider Rex is in this. The main story has to do with Arana getting her new costume. So that's where a lot of the covers focus on. So there are 6 different covers officially, then there's store exclusives. Uh, you got the one for 10 here in the center and the one for 25 on the right. You said you like the U cover here, it's just a cover C,
Yeah.
but uh, Joe, I was telling you before, it really annoys me that there are stores out there that have gone and done store exclusives for characters that are supposed to come out in issue 2, in issue 3, in issue 4, and they're releasing them they're releasing their exclusive covers for issue 1 to have a technical first appearance cover, trying to milk more money out of us. And it just, I mean, Marvel doesn't care. Make your story. I mean,
Right.
and outside of having Spider-Man murder someone on the cover, they're going to take any Spider-Man cover. So, I mean, it makes me go, hey, Joe, let's think of the most random spider potential character out there and let's make a cover for it. And let's do that every cover because if it hits, we have the first cover.
Right. Yeah, I don't know about that either. It's a little shady.
Yeah, I'm I'm not a fan. I will not. I almost bought one that was like, this is stupid. Even if it hits or whatever, like no, for first to cover appearances drive me nuts. I mean, you and I
Yeah.
complained about that from Mandalorian, all those Chris Sprouse books.
Yeah.
Um, so, but yeah, I do plan on getting this. I'm gonna get the one for 25 and the one for 10, and I think cover A. I mean, just because they Spider-Verse does well.
Yeah. Who's the
And I'm a
creative
Spider.
team? Do you know?
It's Dan Slott. He's back. The guy who created the first Spider-Verse series. I think I'm not sure Mark Bagley's gonna be doing the next series with him. I don't think he's doing this. Actually, let's see if we can see the of course not. They don't have the guys written on the covers yet.
Right.
Uh, Random covers we like. These are 3 sort of just to throw out there. actually really do like this Iron Man. It's Lorenzo, however you say his name. There he fights Titanium Man in this issue evidently, and the Mandarian. You get to meet Mandarian's acolyte, who maybe is a new character. So take that for what it's worth. Bad guys, Iron Man bad guys especially, don't usually have much. I mean, shoot, I think you can still buy the cut Whiplash for like $20.
Nice.
Uh, Spider Punk here. I like this cover B. This is Torian Clark. It's just a cover B. The only reason it might catch a little more heat this week is because there officially was an announcement, even though everyone knew it. Spider Punk's going to be in the movie next year, whenever it comes out, Edge of Spider Verse 2. So with the official announcement and the toys images coming out, people are clamoring. If you have I think it's a ASM 10, you can sell those, and people are paying some good prices for them. If I knew where my copies were, I'd debate whether or not to sell them. They're in the box somewhere beside me. Uh, uh, through this is actually a cosplay cover. Ninjas versus Robot. The reason I threw it up there is it reminds me of Ben Oliver. Like sometimes his covers you can't tell if they're quite a picture or they're quite not.
Yeah.
And this is supposedly a photo. So that's sort of why I threw it. The King Spot does some weird sort of stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right, talk to me about this Sword of Azrael.
I mean, I don't know much. It just seems like a pretty good creative team. That one of the guys who's been doing that Future State, Gotham Future State.
Mm.
Um, he's actually just an illustrator that I've been following on Instagram for years, and he finally got into doing some books, and
Oh,
now
nice.
they're like giving him lots of work. So it's 6 issues, I think. This is the one shot, but then he's doing more.
Yeah,
This is reprints. This book is just reprints from that Gotham Future
yeah,
State thing or whatever it was called. Um, and then there's like a mini series that comes out of this.
yeah. I think the miniseries, and there are a couple of incentives for the miniseries, so they're okay. I like this Junie Bach cover, and I was like, I can't
Yeah,
really throw up two Azrael Dark Knight, so I was like, I'm just
yeah,
gonna go with Junie Bach.
yeah.
But uh,
I like Azrael. I mean,
mm,
I grew up in the '90s, so
you have to.
you have a very like strange love hate relationship with John Paul Valley. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sitting there going like that's like my least favorite part of the stories, but it was like 40 issues, so you eventually felt you started to like them.
yeah.
Uh,
I mean, it was just such a big part of
yeah,
our relationship with Bruce Wayne was
s-
all
same
that
reason
whole
we like
thing.
Kelly Jones. You're like, okay,
Yeah,
for some reason, even though I'm
some
not
of
sure
those,
why, like
yeah, some of those Nightfall Kelly Jones covers are still my favorite.
uh, Godzilla cover, I just like this as an incentive. No real reason other than if you like the art.
Yeah,
Same thing with the Transformers, the rarities. It looks like it's like just a bunch of little short stories. There's no incentive for it. It's just one cover.
yeah. It's kind of like what they've been doing with like the best of series.
The Donatello and the Raphaels.
Yeah, and then they've done some, the best of Snake Eyes came out like 2 weeks ago or whatever,
Mhm.
and then they've had best of Optimus Prime.
Oh
It,
yeah,
it's kind of nice to get those reprints in one place.
yeah, and just
So
you can catch up on something because there's usually a you might have missed one of the stories or something
yeah,
like that.
and they're usually, from what I can tell, kind of plugging something that's coming later.
Yeah,
So keep your eyes open for whatever is in that book might be
yeah.
coming back.
Whoever the main character that you follow or whatever. So,
Right.
uh, more covers we sort of like. This is from DC Vampires #8. This is Nathan Zerdici, however you say his name, SZ. But
Yep.
he is known. I know the name because of his books are easy to flip because if you find them super super cheap, they're pinup books. So people he has a niche market that really loves them. He's known for doing pinup covers like the Naughty Nice covers and things like that. But now he's getting to do some DC straight up DC books. So there's going to be collectors out there that are going to collect this book. This is actually not a bad cover. I had to care less about DC versus vampires.
You're not
So
reading that? Come on, Mesh.
no, no, not at all.
No.
Well, you and I both like the cover in the middle.
Yeah. Well, it hits a lot of like it's Mitch Jared's, so that's automatically I'm excited. Um, it's Batman. That's number two, and it's Da Vinci homage. So that's yeah. I mean, I'll buy this book, and it's annoying that I'll buy this book because I
Yeah, so
haven't looked at any of the others.
picking up the Flashpoint Beyond issue 4, not
Right.
issue 1, 2, 3, but 4.
Right. What an idiot. Right. Gee.
DC, you bastards.
Yeah.
Uh, then Poison Ivy 3. There's actually a bunch of covers. I like this cover. Joe said there's a cover he liked. There's a Middleton cover that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
I really hate giving 3 slides to the Poison Ivy book because I don't know if
Right.
anyone that actually reads the book
Yeah. Let's
is
stop
buying
doing.
it.
Let's not do that again.
Yeah, I did it once and I decided never again. Um, more covers. Joe, did you or did you not read the and Aquaman? I can't remember. You
Uh,
said
I tried to read it online, and you know how I am about reading stuff online. I'm bad at it.
yeah.
The artwork, I did look at every page.
Mm,
The artwork's great. I mean, it's Christian Ward. Um, it was really wordy.
yeah.
So when a comic gets really wordy, I definitely don't want to read it online.
Oh yeah, because the word bubbles are hard to follow.
Yeah, it's just you just become annoyed, especially when they're like split a double splash page, so you got to
Oh
like
yeah.
scroll and then and it's just annoying. Um, so I still think I'll probably end up reading the whole thing eventually.
Yeah.
Um,
But it sounds like it's a better for a trade
yeah,
or whatever. And there's some online ways you can read that once you wait long enough, it's like, oh, it's actually a clean version versus a sketch version.
right.
Uh, Joe, I know you picked up the first printing of this,
Yeah, and I actually
but
read it and actually enjoyed it.
yeah, which makes me want to pick this up. It's funny. Usually, to me, and I said this before to you, but when you get a second print, it's usually like a washed out version or something like that. And this time they didn't reverse it.
Yeah,
If you guys remember, the first print was a white background and this guy standing forward, and I don't think you got to see all the color. It was just like the red head.
no, yeah, it's like red. I think
This one you get a full color. There is one for 25 or one for 50 foil as well.
that's cool.
So the the foil actually I can picture with the type of green that is. I can see that being pretty cool.
Yeah. I having a couple a month gone by or whatever since this came out.
Yeah.
Um, if they keep doing this, Batman Superman World's Finest, it would be a very good character for them to bring back, and then it would
Mhm.
make a spectacular animated movie.
Okay. And DC,
So
if nothing else, they can really do some great animated stuff.
yeah, somebody with the right chops could write a really great story, and it would translate so well to animation, and then people would love it.
Yeah.
That's that's probably long, some long term spec, but
Yeah.
um, I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, I have yet to read it. I'm a little bit behind on my reading, so I've not picked that one up yet. Uh, this Dark Crisis 3, this is not an incentive, I don't believe, but it is uh, when the image got released, people were asking like, "Who is Red Canary?" And the Dark Crisis story, I haven't read it, but from what I know, is all those heroes are gone. So just like you had Infinite Crisis and Final
right,
Crisis and whatever crisis, now all the heroes are gone again, and I guess they're bringing in some new. They're creating new young heroes, and
yeah,
we'll see how they take. So this is Red Canary. Not sure if she had an appearance in issue 2 or not, but this is
yeah, I
her
don't know.
design variant. So
Yeah,
have at 'em if you're one that wants to spec on DC. I mean, I still have 10 copies of Crush, who know Lobo's daughter, which is still worth $2.
right.
Um,
I think I got one of those too.
jumping into some of the indie spotlight stuff. Uh, this is called Survival Street. And Joe, you said you didn't take a chance to read this one.
No, I didn't even see it. I must have just
It's end of the world apocalyptic story, but the basic premise is all the corporations each sort of segment themselves off and take over and run different parts of the world. And they decide that educational TV is no longer valued. So all the people that used to do this free speech educational TV, well, they eventually end up being hobos and bums, and there becomes this underground movement of people trying to educate the world. So, like, picture Sesame Street and Big Bird and Grover sneak attacking military style while trying to educate people. So, I'd
I don't
really just
know if
have
I
to read this.
love that idea or if I hate that idea.
I don't either, but I'd have to open the book to see.
Uh,
Like, I just,
It's weird that it's Dark Horse.
Mhm.
Like Dark Horse has been trying weird stuff lately.
Yeah,
I like
they.
that.
I do. I mean, I think they're becoming more relevant
Yeah,
in to talk about and to look at some of their stuff. Book here in the center is called Dead Lucky. It's just this is a 1 for 50 variant out of like all of them. This is another one in the Radiant Black universe. I do not know if this is the first appearance of the character. Um, because it's so hard to keep track of who appears where, and is it this person or is it a new person's picked up the helmet and become this
Right.
character named Dead Lucky. So then this is the second print of the book that you and I looked at and went, "Who the hell is ever going to want to read this book?" This book,
Everyone.
oh, evidently, either it's really good or everyone has drunk the Kool-Aid believing that this is the one indie book that gets made in a TV show and people care. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, but
I think it's still way too early. I think Charles Schul's a good writer,
yeah,
but uh, getting optioned like we've talked about millions of times doesn't mean nothing yet, you know.
yeah.
So unless
I do
unless
know.
unless there's more information out there, because I'll just tell you, I'm not looking anything up about 8 billion genies.
Yeah, I do know that there was a store exclusive that came out that was like a Super Mario Brothers 3 homage, and that
Yeah, I
thing is
remember that one.
selling between $300 and $400 regularly. I don't get it because people are sitting on 15 and 20 copies of it, selling one at a time, and I'm just like, I just don't get it. But part of it might be sour grapes. I missed out on the buying it for 20 bucks or 30 bucks or whatever, but it's a freaking indie book. It maybe if it's a good book, then I'm mad because I would like to read it and find out it's a good book. But I mean, I can show you stacks of indie books that I have that were hot for 5 minutes, and then
Yeah.
so I just don't get it. Some more indie to look at. This Golden Rage. You read the solicitation. What's the premise?
Uh, it's like, I guess, an apocalyptic future or something where older women are not valued anymore, so they're all dropped onto this island or something. Um, and I was kind of sold after that. I don't
Yeah,
remember the rest of it.
I think the last line was it's Battle Royale meets Golden Girls.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like how they learn how to deal with social things and how to fight to the death. It was
Right.
like, okay, my curiosity's peak. This is a
Yeah.
Lotte cover.
Yeah.
I dig her style. I always say that.
Yeah.
Um,
Her color's great, and it looks to me like this entire creative team is female.
yeah, it does too.
So that I'll definitely pick it up and flip through it.
Yeah. Twig, as much as we made fun of issue one, I throw a cover up every time because, and actually, I throw a peach cover up because they're just something cute and disturbing at the same time. With her style is perfect for Twig.
Yeah.
Have you started to read it yet?
Mhm.
Yeah, neither. It's one of those like I'm waiting for the trade. When issue six
Right.
comes out, I will track down the trade and
Yeah.
just read it
Me
through.
me too.
I do that with a lot of Scotty Young books. Like I don't pick them up and then like Middle West. I read the first six and I'm like, oh, why the hell did it? And then I go track them all down.
Yeah.
Um,
I bought the first issue of Middle West and never read it. And then I read the trade, and then I was like, I'm so glad I bought the first issue.
yeah.
So Marv,
uh, and finally, guys, I'm showing you here. This is Berserker, which I never talk about the book. I even though I like Keanu and the premise might actually be good, I hated the way it was marketed the first issue. But
yeah,
this
it
is
was a little much,
evidently they had a
but
panel at Comic Con. Did you catch any of that?
I just watched where Keanu came out.
Yeah,
Um, I think Ron Garney is amazing though. So like,
yeah,
if Keanu's name was not on this, I would probably be all over this book. And
yeah,
I love Keanu, but like, I think it had the same like crazy hype that like Twig that turns us both off. We're
yeah.
just like that every time that there's a huge hype train, we're just like, man, we've been on this hype train so many times. But from the first couple of issues that I read, it seems like a pretty great story.
Yeah. I think I read the first 2 and then just I didn't pick it up again.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
But yeah, for some reason issue 9 has a second print. I mean, it's just one of those like so I don't know how many stores would have ordered a copy of this, but just to me it's like if there's a second print of a random issue 9, hmm,
Yeah,
maybe pick see if how many stores
something
have it.
might be going on. Yeah,
But yeah, supposedly this panel they came out. It's gonna be an animated show on Netflix, which everyone knew was already on Netflix, but just have that confirmation.
right.
Um, so rumors some of the books sell, but when there's 600,000 copies of issue one, It's not really one that's. I mean, yes, there's the one for 1,000 or whatever, but
Right.
that's a tough one to ever have like a lots of copies sold. Let's see here. All right, let's see. Look, a few more indie spotlight. AWA. I like to shout at them out any chance I get. Sacrament. Space. A priest lost his religion, called in to exorcise someone in outer space.
Sounds great.
Yeah,
How's the artwork?
no, it was good. AWA AWA they like and they go to the artists a lot of times that use black a lot.
I
So
like that.
I mean, like I know you, but it is sometimes hard because you get lost in sometimes in the images. Just like Michael Lark, we love, but sometimes Michael Lark goes a little too dark, or Gydos goes a little too dark sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of those
Um,
Daredevil runs where it's like it works. Oh, it doesn't work in this panel. Um,
right. Yeah. Malieve too. That
yeah.
some of that early Malieve, man, you have no idea what you're looking at. Uh, and then like you turn the page and it's just gorgeous. So
Oh yeah.
I like this Frusen guy uh, about half the time. I really like his work.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah.
Little Monsters still good.
Yeah. This is a
This
dark
the
and
B
disturbing cover.
yeah the B cover is by a European artist who makes manga.
Hmm.
Um, and it's his first cover ever
Oh wow.
um, in mainstream American comics.
Yeah.
He's made European comics before, um, but he's kind of a guy to watch, I think. So
Okay.
that B cover might be an interesting grab because this may be a way that I think he's friends with Dustin
Hmm.
Dustin Wynn. Uh, so that may be a way that they're bringing him over
Yeah.
from, and he does like kind of messy, inky stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of cute, but definitely like manga ish. So that's just another thing to watch out for.
Well, and those of you that collect and spec, depending on the artist, if they hit, it's always good to know their first stuff, to have their
Yeah,
first covers. Suzumaka's first stuff is even hotter now that she's popular. Peach Momoko's first covers, some of those, especially here lately, no one really cares about the Todd McFarlane first cover, unless you're a huge McFarlane fan. But man,
right.
people, these new artists, people like, what did they did this random exclusive where and tracking them down.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I mean, Little Monsters is a solid book too. Like
yeah.
it's got some Paper Girl vibes.
Mm,
Um, so it kind of feels like Jeff Lemire was like, I need to write something that can go directly to TV again. You know,
yeah.
so it's got that like
Well, and now that he's made his TV show, like people are going to start going through his stuff, and he's going to start everything he is now going to write, just like Brian K. Vaughan. Everything
yeah,
he writes is with the this one, all right, but it should be outside of Saga, which
right,
even that is made for TV if they had the CG to do it.
yeah,
Uh,
or animated.
yeah,
It'd be like Invincible, like Saga done like Invincible. It'd be crazy.
yeah,
Uh, does Paper Girls come out tomorrow
I think so.
On Amazon? I think it does.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Yeah, either the 30th or the 31st. Yeah. And then we have this MGMT bootleg number two. The C cover, which is this is the A cover. The C cover is the poly bag that comes with the card that you can play and the whatever the my. So that's just sort of something to keep in mind. I did not. I really actually. The more I see these covers, the more I'm like, I really want to go back and read my Mind
Man,
MGMT, which I think
yeah,
is the book that started at issue 30 and went backwards. So or 25, whatever it is. It
right.
started with the end, and then you had to read it backwards.
Yeah. I
So
picked up the first one. It was pretty good.
mhm, all
It's a
right.
different artist every issue,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
the weirdness that is me, I may not pick up another issue ever, but
Mhm.
I like the guy who did the first issue.
Okay. Yeah, so, I can't even tell who did this one.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Bill less stinky. I don't know. Instead of variance, like I said, we're getting to Batman again. This is, oh my gosh, it's a gorgeous Ben Oliver cover.
Yeah.
It's and this is on Batman Killing Time #6.
And how many times have we talked about Batman killing time?
Not once. Maybe the first issue.
Now we've talked about a couple of the variants because
Oh yeah,
they're awesome, but I read the first issue.
it's so hard to
I haven't read
chase
more.
every Batman story.
Yeah.
I mean, and you're a Batman person. I'm not. I'm a
Yeah.
Spider-Man guy, but it's hard to chase every Spider-Man story. But yeah, Batman Killing Time. But because this cover is so good, I didn't show you the Once and Future, the one for
Right.
25, which is gorgeous as well. This one's just better. So there is a one, uh, but Once and Future is down to the last 3 issues. This is issue 28. It'll end with issue 30. So, speaking of Kelly Jones, here's
Yep.
Philadelphia. This is a 1 for 10 for the black and white, and you have kept up with this, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm actually caught up miraculously. There's like 4 things going on that are like not a mini series that I'm like actually reading, and this is one of them.
I
And
would
I've
have
been
never
picking.
picked you to read a vampire werewolf story.
I wouldn't. I would never. This is like I keep buying stuff and reading stuff that's like not the genre that I would be interested in, but I like the creative team.
Mhm.
And like I'm reading Little Monsters, that's about vampires. I'm reading
Yeah,
Philadelphia, that's about vampires and werewolves. Like I'm not a horror guy. I love sci-fi
yeah.
and
But
the
there's not
creative
really any.
yeah, the
Batman's
creative
only
teams
good
are good.
sci-fi. Yeah.
So that's like I talked to a guy at one of the comic shops I went to today and he was asking me, about the shop. He was asking me about our local shops, and I was telling him it was pretty good because he said he's got like one of his best friends lives in Nashville, and he was like, "Where should I go?" And I was telling him all the places he could go, and he was like, "Oh, do you have a pool box somewhere?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I'm too complicated to like like actually have a pool box because I'll buy one issue because I like the creative team."
Mhm.
And then that artist never does another issue of that story, so I just got this, like, part of the story, uh, and then eventually I'll try to find the trade, but,
Yeah.
I'm just so weird.
Uh, so let's go on to the next slide here. Let's see what's here. Finally, we got the incentive variants, and Joe, you gave me grief. This
I
is the
did.
Dotson for Demon Wars Iron Samurai. Evidently, I missed one, and I don't know how the hell I did it. Who did I miss?
Maleef,
Fuck
and
you.
it's amazing. It's basically just a samurai. It looks like an old school, like, Japanese block print. It's cool.
No. Yeah,
I did not know it was Maleef.
okay. That
So
gets me a little.
when you look at it, um, like I was looking through them, and it's the most like classical, like
Yeah.
Japanese looking. And I was like, who did that? Oh, no wonder I really like it. Um, and I'll tell you, I've looked at a lot of the Peach stuff that
Mhm.
she's doing the interiors for. They're great.
Yeah, like
I'm not a big Peach fan of her covers, but her visual storytelling is great. So
it's
I will maybe pick this up.
like the issue or like all the issues because like there's like what one there's like 5 1 shots now or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I'll pick up all those if I can find them. I've read a few of them
Yeah,
because my boy Frank loves it, so he's got most of them, and I
yeah.
read his copies. Uh, but I may pick up this whole thing. I think it's a issue mini series.
Oh, okay. I haven't like it sort of caught me off guard. I got in a hurry, so like the last few issues I wasn't able to keep up with and keep track of.
Yeah,
Um,
I
but yeah,
think I read this is a mini series, and they're kind of letting her Murphy verse it. It feels like
mhm.
she's writing and making all the choices, and so that's cool.
Ooh, Marv says waiting for the Treasury edition. That'd be pretty sweet to see the interiors and all that.
Yeah.
And Peach is a acquired taste, but those that like her swear by her.
Oh yeah.
And I'm becoming more and more of a fan when I get over the fact it's only when you go, okay, she's the same when she mails it in. You
Right.
can tell when she doesn't try.
Well, I mean, I would say we talk about her work more than anyone else's Marvel believes in her,
Yeah.
like, and she churns out the work. Like, she must be really fast. Because this week alone, there were like three,
Yeah.
four,
Well, I mean, here on this slide, the Immortal X-Men has a 1 for 25 incentive.
right? And the
It's
Twig.
yeah.
So, like,
Twig had it. Yeah.
this
On
book
this
is
slide alone, there's 3 books that are Peach books.
right. Like, what in the world?
Yeah.
So, it's pretty cool.
I think 1 week when I was doing before we started doing our own videos, she had 14 different exclusives, or not exclusives, variants. Now, some of that was Dynamite had her do a cover, and they had a black and white version, a red version, a blue version, a green of the exact same image.
Mhm.
But it's just like, oh my god. But yeah,
That's crazy.
so let's see what else we got here. I think Joe,
Might
we
be
made
it.
it to the this is the it. There
Good.
are so many books, guys. Um, I hate you, Joe, for being able to see Rage Against the Machine. They're definitely on that little short list of, man, I'd like to see them again.
Yeah.
So you got Rage down. We did Pearl Jam, what, maybe 10 years ago? Man,
Yeah.
that's
Something like
wild.
that.
Like, who's on the list of, okay, I'll still go see them in concert?
I know. Cardinal and I have been talking about this, and it was like, I might be done.
Would you do, would, if Foo Fighters gets it together after Hawkins? I know Cardinal's a big Foo Fighters guy.
He's already seen him 3 times. Joe and I we saw him in Memphis.
Yeah.
Uh,
But now since the drummer's gone, passed away.
yeah, he would go in a heartbeat.
Okay. What
And
about Chili Peppers?
you want to
haven't
see the
really
Chili Peppers if they come
Where?
anywhere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen them.
No.
So
What about you? How many times have you seen Pearl Jam?
4,
4?
which is nothing compared to people
Right.
that are really Pearl Jam fans.
I mean, I know a guy who traveled all around Europe,
Yep.
bootlegging
And then
every freaking concert. And
a
then,
guy who graduated high school a year ahead of us, I think he was down to like his 250th Fish show.
yeah,
I mean,
he's a psycho.
there for certain artists, Rage though is one of those you don't hear about Rage heads. Well, you do. They're usually in jail, but
Right.
like, but you like
Yeah,
just to be able
we
to.
met some people who are like, because everyone in the whole stadium was just grinning ear to ear the whole time because it was like you never thought you were going to see Rage again.
Yeah.
And we met some crazy biker chicks who were like probably 60 years old who were going. They live in Cleveland, and they were
Yeah.
flying to Tempe, Arizona to see them when they're there in February.
Wow.
I was like, 60-year-old Rage Against the Machine fans. Like, what? The world is so weird.
That's just. But at the same time, those would have been 40-year-olds when we were there, and we wouldn't have thought that much. You were the 40-year-old. Now the question is, how many 20-year-olds were at this concert?
Uh, there were a lot more young people than we thought would be there.
Yeah.
They didn't know the songs. I feel like Run the Jewels kind of got some of them there,
Yeah.
and then they
But Run
were
the
all
Jewels is
blown.
still. They're pretty. Not they're an upper. They've been around for long
Oh
enough
yeah,
to.
they're old. Everybody
Yeah.
there was like old. It was kind of awesome. And Zach's got a broken foot, so it's like, oh, we're all geriatrics. But
All right,
yeah, it
guys.
was really
Thanks for
fun.
catching in. Like, subscribe. I realized we were still talking without actually hitting the show. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah.